Arsenal's game against Manchester United on Sunday in the FA Cup at their Emirates is going to be a classic showdown. It's going to be David versus Goliath. It's going to be Mikel Arteta's not last chance, but Mikel Arteta's last chance to win over the fans. Well, I kind of started there, didn't I? Or did I? I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. If you're new to the show, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and give it a subscription as well. Press that subscribe button, it's free. That's right, if something is free, why not take advantage of it? People moan that they don't get nothing for free. Here's your chance. Subscribe. Okay, let's get into this one. Mikel Arteta has a one-chance saloon to win back the fans over by beating Manchester United at the Emirates on Sunday in the FA Cup third round, just kicking off. We all love the FA Cup. But right now, there's a fanfare at the moment that's just going crazy. People wanting Mikel Arteta out. People wanting Mikel Arteta to stay in. And some people are just indifferent. If he stays, they're cool. If he goes, they're cool. Which one are you? Let me know in the comments below straight away. You're in, you're out, you're indifferent. You don't mind. Okay, Mikel Arteta is not really and truly that much under pressure to deliver a trophy. Whether you know that or not, or maybe you do know that, and that's why you don't like the Cronkies in that manner as well. But there are so much similarities of what the Cronkies do when it comes to appointing a manager. They like him young, not like because they can mold him, but they just like him young. They like him innovative, and they can be innovative as well. And then they show promise going forward that they can bring on and develop talent as well as not spending too much money, but they're not afraid to spend money. The Cronkies, they are not afraid to spend money as long as that they have full control of the capacity of what they own or running at the time. So that's why you started seeing the late splurges in the transfer market from the Cronkies. That's what it is. People saying they've been there for too long. No, they haven't been there for that long, fully in charge. Back to Mikel Arteta. When I say he's not that much under pressure, because he's not. And the reason being is because he has shown progress in the last 2 seasons, let alone the 5 seasons that he's been in charge of Arsenal. Before, if you remember the gloomy days of under Wenger coming to the end of his tenure. And then, of course, Emery who came in, and then Mikel Arteta picked up the pieces from there. First 2 seasons wasn't great. The third season, you could say, damn it, only got to a 5th and not 4th. We should have beaten Spurs to that punch to get back into the Champions League. Season after that, make a run for the Premier League and then almost win it, but then fell short because the players wasn't there. Moving on to last season, they fell short again, and bang, by 2 points, they didn't get it. Why? Because the squad still wasn't there. And this is why Mikel Arteta is not that much under pressure. People only laud at him and say, well, you spent 700 million, you should have done so much better. The 700 million really and truly shouldn't be thrown at him. The reason why I say that is because the transfer market doesn't offer that much value. So when you look at a fee that people can pay, it doesn't actually represent value. Unfortunately, that's what you have to pay if you want certain players. That's what it costs to do. It's like Formula One. Every year they spend hundreds of millions developing a car, but guess what? Max Verstappen in the last 4 seasons have just won every race, and Lewis Hamilton can't even get there no more, even though he is a 7-time champion with Mercedes. Now he's gone to Ferrari. Back to Mikel Arteta. Do you see my point of the comparisons I'm making here? You can spend a lot of money, but it doesn't mean it's going to be great. But the one thing I can say is, Ty, no one wanted Gabriel Jesus. I get that and I respect that. Ty, no one wanted Kai Havertz at the club. I get that and I respect that. There's a lot of signings that Mikel Arteta has done that a lot of fans will turn around and say, I didn't want them, and we have to respect that decision. But that decision was made by the manager who wanted those players, who believed that those players were going to be the one that's going to transform Arsenal's lack of success in the Premier League into success. And it almost came true. That part we can say, even though it didn't come true, but it almost came true on 2 occasions. So he's thinking going into the 3rd season, I think I've nailed it. I think I've got it. I'm going to tell my bosses, oh, we're nearly there. And in the boss's eyes, they can see they are nearly there. That's why I'm saying he's not that much under pressure as you would like him to be, because Mikel Arteta has shown steady growth And any ownership that has a manager that's promoting steady growth, who is doing what what the owners want, i.e., what their remit is, which is hire young, develop these young players that you do have, and he has developed quite a few, even though he sold a few. Plus, bringing some experienced players along the way, bringing what you want, your personnel, and the way you want it to be done. Because if that's what you want it to be done, and it can be proven to be right, we'll back you. And even though he didn't win the Premier League in the last 2 seasons, he came close to the juggernaut that is Manchester City. And even though they have fallen off this year, they're still a juggernaut of a team. And that part you have to admit, Manchester City is a juggernaut of a team. And anything like that you're going up against, you have to be your best and you have to have the best at your disposal. But unfortunately, Mikel Arteta, for what he felt was the best for going out and getting that recruitment, which is your Jesus and your Havertz. And the reason why I say those two is because he believed that those two would have been enough to propel Arsenal to a Premier League. So going against Manchester United this Sunday, he's not that much under pressure. He's still in full competitions. Even though Arsenal lost against Newcastle 2-0, first leg at the Carabao Cup at the Emirates, technically Arsenal are still in the competition. It's only half time, if you want to call it that way. They can still come out in the second leg and still score 3 goals. You're thinking, Ty, shut the hell up. That can never happen. But if you're still watching, like, subscribe, turn that notification on, and subscribe. Because on the road to 1,000, I'm trying to get the full-time job here at TK24 Sports. Well, should I say, it is my channel. I'm just trying to make myself a full-time employee myself. So, it's still half-time in the Carabao Cup. They're still in 4 competitions. There's a chance there. But Ty, how can that be possible if we don't have the strike force, if we don't have the midfield quality to make that a turnaround? And I hear that and I respect that. Believe me, I hear what you say, I respect what you say, and I do come back to you, and not just to challenge for the sake of a debate, but to question what your logical thinking. I question what's your state of mind. Okay, it's cool. I like the way you think. Okay, tell me more about it. What got you to that? Do you just follow what people say, or is this what you just believe in? And I'm going to give you some examples as to why the transfer market is going to be hard now and in the summer. Alexander Isak, everyone's now clamoring on to say that this is what we want. We want him, we want him, we want him. No one actually wanted him when he was at Borussia Dortmund at the time. No one wanted him when he went to Real Sociedad at the time. But when he came to Newcastle, and some people saying, let's go for him, let's go for him. It takes one word on Twitter or X, and then people clamor all over that. And they say, that's what we need, that's what we need. And then when you see him play, then you see, because he does get injured quite a bit, but it was only a one half hit injury season. Then you see him, and now you want him. That's the difference. Gyökeres, when he was at Brighton, no one wanted him. He then goes to Coventry. Still, he was scoring a few goals, but still, no one wanted him. He goes over to Sporting, starts scoring some goals. His agent gets in touch with Romano. They start whipping up a frenzy in the media on X. And then all of a sudden, the eyes are on Gyökeres, and then there are Arsenal supporters and supporters around the world are saying, let's get Gyökeres. You see what happens? That's what the thing that the managers have as well. They say have scouts, they have those people who are more knowledgeable than us to make the decisions and say that's who you go for. But if the manager doesn't believe in it and think that that's not the way to go forward with my club, he's not going to do it. He doesn't give in to fanfare. And he feels like I've gone off topic here, but I haven't. What I'm trying to say is Arteta's not that much under pressure. And that's going to bother you and that's going to irate you because a lot of you want him to go, a lot of you want him to stay, and a lot of you, again, are just indifferent. So what happens against Manchester United? Also go out, it's just going to come on more, I say not pressure, but it's just going to be more noise from the Arsenal supporters. Arsenal go through, then people will say, well, it's against Manchester United, they're rubbish this season, so what does it matter? That's still not good enough. We're still not battling, we're still not in for the league against Liverpool. We're pretty much out against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and we're not going to get anywhere in the Champions League. So what I'm saying is there is no winning situation for Mikel Arteta. And is that because he's brought it on himself with his stupid decisions in his tactical approach? Is that because of his stupid decisions in the transfer market? Is that just because of his stupid decisions on letting like a Smith Rowe go to Fulham? And not having the cover for a Martin Odegaard along with Fabio Vieira going on loan to Porto. It could be a number of things. But again, the hate that you may have for Arteta doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the owners are happy with what he is doing. I'm telling you now, the owners are seeing something that we're not seeing. That's why he's not under pressure. But if you don't like what I say, please give it a subscribe because I know what I've said today hasn't helped at all whatsoever. And yes, why is there no transfer stories coming up against Arsenal? Why is there no transfer stories when you can see that Cava over, well, we'll shorten his name, can't pronounce it, over Napoli wants to go. He wants to leave Napoli and people love him over there. He's a left winger. But he's been flirting with PSG. Romano has come out with that. He's flirting with PSG. He's not flirting with the Premier League. And that's a telltale sign. Normally, when you hear a player's agent comes out and says he wants to come to the Premier League, it's down to the Premier League clubs to say, yo, is he a baller? Let's go and get him. Cava only wants to go to League Why? Because the Premier League is too physical for him. That's my opinion. That's the way I read it. If a player doesn't want to come to the Premier League, the toughest league in the world, the most physical league in the world, the most demanding league in the world, you don't want him at that club. Okay? That's my opinion. I could be wrong. You let me know. Comments below. But what's your thoughts going to be for Arsenal versus Manchester United? Am I right in what I'm saying that Mikel Arteta is not that much under pressure? Leave your thoughts below. I really want to know what you feel about this comment from what I said today. And I cannot wait for you to tune back in to the next show. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.